Chingus, welcome to this political, historical, sociological channel. Today I want to share with you how a French video game developer known as Ubisoft announced Tuesday a new artificial intelligence, or AI, known as GHOSTWRITER, which aims to optimize the writing time of its scripts, especially the dialogues of non-player characters known as NPCs. According to a company statement, the new AI developed by experts from the Laforge research project does not replace the video game writer, but rather simplifies one of the most laborious tasks, writing the phrases or sounds emitted by NPCs. This allowing them to simplify the work of screenwriters so that they can improve other central themes of the plot. Instead of writing the first drafts themselves, GHOSTWRITER allows screenwriters to select and polish the generated samples, explains Ben Swanson, a scientist at Laforge. For these writers initially create a character and type of interaction or expression they would like to generate. Subsequently, the AI proposes a select number of options that the scriptwriter is free to choose and edit. The process used per comparison as the method of evaluation and improvement. After the writer selects an option, the tool learns from this to become more effective and accurate. According to Swanson, thanks to the interface, easy-to-use process, and powerful AI infrastructure, screenwriters who choose to include this technology will be able to progress in this area and be more ambitious in their narrative designs. In that sense, the company says it intends to give the power of GHOSTWRITER to narrative designers so that one day they can create their own AI system tailored on their own needs. NPCs are important to any video game company because it is through them that the player increases their sense of immersion within the video game. The paradox of these non-playable characters is that despite being a mainstay of the game, companies cannot invest enough to creative effort and time in them. After all, writers must spend more time attending to the central script and the conversation between the main characters. Faced with this situation and aware that the main of games are open world games with literally hundreds of non-playable characters inside, Ubisoft announced that artificial intelligence will assist them. But Ubisoft was especially emphatic in assuming that GHOSTWRITER will not replace its writers and scripters. The AI, it claims, will be a tool to be used in early stages of development to save humans time, as it will generate the first draft of an NPC's spontaneous conversations with the players during a triggered event. The software will need writers to establish the characters and indicate the type of expression of interaction they would like to generate. GHOSTWRITER will throw up some conversational variations that the writer will choose to edit and polish. The best thing about this, Ubisoft itself indicates, is that it's used by your team. The results will be more effective and realistic. The news was not well received by the gamer community and the game writers. Some gamers argue that the tool will worsen conversations with NPCs, while forcing scriptwriters to change less for their work. Alana Pierce, a writer at Sony's Santa Monica studio, responsible for titles such as God of War, took the news as a waste of time, as AI software slows down the process of writing dialogue. Writer AAA Studios used the budget invested in these tools to hire more writers. She reported this on their Twitter account. Recently, a report published by OpenAI, the first profession whose products will be generated with the help of artificial intelligence set of alarm bells for professional people. The company creator of ChatGPT warned about translators, mathematicians, writers, art authors, web interface designers, reporters, and journalists are more likely to have their jobs done more efficiently with the advent of the from being aided to being replaced seems to be a short step. Ubisoft did not mention from when or which video game Ghostwriter will begin to be used, but made it clear that the A is the path it has chosen to make its resources more efficient. OpenAI announces with great fanfare the launch of ChatGPT 4, the next generation of its artificial intelligence-based language model. According to the company, the improvements make it more efficient at meeting standardized math and language tests with significant better scores than before. GPT-4 is 82% less likely to respond to requests for disloyal content and 40% more likely to produce factual responses compared to GPT 3.5, according to the internal evaluations conducted by the company. While it's true that artificial intelligence is still far from replacing us completely, it is a reality that its emergence, as well as its content and accelerating optimization, has the potential to impact thousands of jobs. OpenAI itself warned as much. The renewed company recently published a document in which it lists the conclusions of an investigation into possible implications that GPT have in the labor market. The company research team behind GPT-4 analyzed 19,262 work activities and 2,087 work processes described in the UNED 27.2 database, which concentrates 1,016 jobs with detailed descriptions of their tasks and processes. We talk about exposure levels for these processes. For researchers' purposes, OpenAI defines exposure as a measure of whether access to GPT or GPT-powered systems will reduce the time required for a human to perform a specific detailed work activity or complete at least 50% of a task. It is no exposure. There is no or minimal reduction in the time required to complete an activity or task while maintaining equivalent equality. Direct exposure using only LLM large language model similar to those used by the most powerful chatbots such as GPT-4, the time required to complete a GWA can be decreased by at least 15%. LLM for expose E2 access to LLM required to complete the activity or task, at least half of it. But additional software can develop that, in combination with LLM, will reduce the time required to complete at least half of a specific activity with quality. Access to imaging system is considered under the heading. OpenAI's finding indicates that higher paying jobs with higher education requirements will have the greatest implications with the consolidation of models such as GPT-4. Our analysis suggests that people with bachelor's, master's, and professional degrees are more exposed to GPT and GPT-driven software than those without formal educational credentials. Interestingly, we also find that individuals with some college education but no degree show a high level or exposure to GPT and GPT-driven software. Note that jobs with the low exposure require longer training, potentially offering lower rewards. Once proficiency is achieved, in contrast, jobs that do not require on-the-job training or that only require internship or residency appear to generate higher earnings, but are more exposed to GPT. The paper dictates, while translators, mathematicians, writers, and authors, web and digital interface designers, reporters, and journalists, like me, as well as accounting professionals, auditors are more likely to be able to perform their tasks with significantly better efficiency with the help of AI, such as GPT. Farm machinery operators, athletes, cooks, bricklayers, mechanics, or power line installers are further away for these scenarios. OpenAI assures that they are far from completely replacing workers. While the technical ability of GPTs to make human labor more efficient seems self-evident, it is important to recognize that social, economic, regulatory, and other factors can influence actual labor productivity outcomes, the company says. The OpenAI discourse therefore paints artificial intelligence-based language models as tools that optimize human work, rather than as a complete substitute for it. I would like to know in the comments what do you think about this, if you think that in the future we can be replaced by artificial intelligence, and if this future is near. If you like, I would love if you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share to get more people. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.